Good evening, and welcome to our first live stream for the Magic Zoo Crew. We've got with us Nathan here in studio with us, and we've got David in the parks. He's at Hollywood Studios in Star Wars Land, or Batu, as it's called, and he is standing by down there. Uh, it is May the 4th, and so we just want to celebrate with everybody that's in. I know the park is full. David had to get a reservation for one of the other parks and then transfer over just to get in today because all the reservations went quick and they have been crowded all day down there. So we'll get with David here in a second. Um, Let me do a shout out real quick to Josh with uh, Resort TV One. Josh and Jenna do a Friday night live stream every Friday night from one of the parks or Disney Springs, or they go from all the different resorts on the monorail. And so today is Josh's birthday. And I just want to say that out loud. We watch Josh on a regular basis. So we may have to get rid of that background, Nathan. So Nathan working my background. We got some, every time I move, it's kind of choppy. So anyway, happy birthday to Josh. Today is his birthday. And I believe they also are going live in about 30 minutes. They will be live on their live stream for the rest of the evening till Hollywood Studio closes tonight. So anyway, David, are you there?
Yes, I am here in Galaxy's Edge, and boy, oh boy, it is quite the here. I'm kind of sequestered myself into a little corner here. I'm going to try not to disturb folks. I can see just a little bit away from me, folks are in line to do photo ops with the Millennium Falcon in the background. And that has always been a hot spot for photos, especially if you bring your own lightsabers and cool Star Wars props. But it has been absolutely a fun day today, and it's going to be a fun evening tonight, guys. There are other fan events happening here. We're telling a lightsaber meet and greet for Star Wars fans here at Galaxy's Edge. It's been put up online on multiple group chats on the chat servers and talk servers and whatnot. So that'll be an event happening later on tonight. And I'll probably get some footage of that for my video log that's going on right here. It
Okay.
has been quite the experience today. It's been really, really fun.
I'm glad you had. You've been there. Listen, you went into Epcot,
I did,
walked
yes.
across, got onto the Skycam or
The
I don't
Disney
call it
Skyline.
this is Skyliner, and I'm trying to what to do this. I'm trying to readjust my camera a little bit here. Uh, so and then got in. What time did you get in the park?
I got in closer, let's say about 1:30 this afternoon.
Okay. So you've had a busy day down there. So anyway,
I had,
well, we're going to cut away from you, and we'll come back in a little bit. And Dave and I are going to go through some other things real quick. So we'll
okay.
get back to you in just a few minutes. We'll come back to you.
Alrighty, I'll be here. Or I'll try to
Okay.
get it.
Okay. So, all right. So anyway, we've got a couple things we're going to talk about other than it being Star Wars Day. Um, let's see. We're going to talk about some things of Nathan's going to go through upcoming dates for tickets going on sale, when those available and everything. We're going to talk about a couple of Star Wars trivia and some other things. So, Nathan, why don't you go ahead and let's kick it off with what's coming up in the next 3 to 6 months with tickets. And
Yeah, absolutely. So, a little something that I've prepared here, kind of like a forecast of sorts, if you want to be really extra granular about it. Just something that you can look at if you're trying to look at planning a Disney trip, or if you're wondering what at all prices are looking like these days, if it's been a long time since you've been.
Okay, I want to interrupt Nathan. I don't know if your mic is off. Everything you said,
Let's see here.
you're still muted.
Now,
Now
Nathan's
I'm going to tell you.
and so see the mouth moves and sound comes through this time.
That's wonderful.
Wonderful. That's really wonderful.
Yeah, if you're in the mood for planning a Disney trip, or if you've never been and you're just kind of looking at what kinds of stuff you can expect, this is just some things that one could expect to look at when planning a Disney World trip. Let me see here. There's an issue with the file I'm trying to put up. For some reason, I'm trying to figure out why it's not allowing me to do that.
It worked earlier.
Oh yeah, we went through all
And
this.
post production, it was working fine.
It was free in the pre-production.
Pre-production,
it wasn't
exactly,
working. Let me try something else. I might just have a bogus thing. There was an issue with your file. Okay, well that's not very nice. All right. Well, when your sword breaks, you draw your dagger. All right. So what we're gonna do instead, I'm going to instead open this, and we will have ourselves a little bit of auxiliary. Let's see. So I want to share this. All right. So to make sure that we can see this appropriately. All right, I'm going to put myself here and this in. All right, here we go. So if you're planning a relatively quick trip shortly from today, if you look 1 month out, this is the week of May the 4th today. So June the 4th, this is what your prices, or if you're going to go visit the parks, are going to end up looking like. If you're going to buy just a single day ticket to the parks, those are going to range anywhere from $149 up to $179. That's usually going to be the difference between Animal Kingdom versus Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom tends to be up on the higher end of those spectrums. Animal Kingdom tends to be a little bit lower on that spectrum. And then if you're going to do a park hopper ticket, those are, in my opinion, your best value. You're going to be able to visit multiple parks throughout the course of the same day. And those are going to range in price for that whole week from anywhere to $233 to $243. Only about a $10 difference over the course of the week. Looking ahead, if you go up 90 days from today into the week of August 4th, it's a little bit cheaper in August. It's very, very, very hot if you do decide to plan a trip. But as a result of that, Disney does tend to have cheaper prices both for their resorts and for their theme park tickets as well. So a little bit of a change in price. Single day tickets are going to go from $139 to $179. The park hoppers are going to be from $223 all the way to $241, depending on what day of the week you're looking to go. And if you're like me, you want to plan your trip out as far in advance as you can to make sure everything's just right. You can look out for 180 days in advance. That's 6 months out for the week of February 4th, 2026. So you do have pricing for the year 2026 out already so that you can plan that far out in advance. However, things looking a little bit more expensive as we get out a little bit further. The cheaper park days are going to be for the single day tickets, $159 all the way up to $194 if you plan to visit Magic Kingdom for the day. Those park hopper tickets still a $10 range. However, they now range from $244 all the way to $254. So just a little bit of a, if you're planning the trip that far out in advance, it's best to kind of know what you're going to get yourself into, so that way you can save up, and that way you can make sure that you're well prepared for the price points of those.
Okay. Thanks, Nathan. Let me just take a. If you're watching this now, or if you're watching later, and you see this later and thought to watch it, always hit the like button. We're asking you to subscribe to our channel, and when you do that, hit the bell, hit all. If you hit all, that means every time we post something, whether it's a live stream, was a short that David has done, and it's been put up or a longer video, you'll be notified and get those notifications. And here's another big thing. We're asking you to subscribe. New channel, and we have to have 100 subscribers before we get noticed by YouTube. And you can find us by search. Right now, unless you get an invitation, you know we're going live or it's shared, you won't know anything. And if you go to search our channel, you won't find us. We've got to have 100 subscribers before we're recognized on YouTube that you can search us and find us that way. So if you want to be notified when David posts something, hit that bell, hit all, and I'll subscribe to the channel. Anytime anything goes up, you'll be notified that it went up through your email, through YouTube, through Facebook, and you'll get all those notifications. So Nathan was talking about tickets out to the first of the next year, and I'm jumping on my notes. I heard yesterday through one of the other bloggers that in 2026 they're going to be cutting ticket prices, and I don't know what that's going to, how much that's going to change. So if you're looking to plan a trip out next year, wait a little bit, see what happens with ticket prices. And it's not just ticket prices, it's going to be hotel, the meal plans, everything. They're going to be cutting it because they are in competition now with the newer park by another company that just opened up, and they're having a fight in competition to get people to come in. So anyway, David, you're standing by down there. You're still in the same location.
Yes,
Tell
I
us
am.
about, go ahead and tell us about some of the things that you've seen going on today down Batuu, on planet Batuu.
On the planet Batuu, well, of course, here at Galaxy's Edge, locally known as Batuu, I have seen crowds beyond crowds. Probably, I don't know if it's anywhere close to what it would have been back in 2019 when they opened Disney's Galaxy's Edge, but it has been quite the outturn for everybody coming into it. But one thing I have seen of late, mainly today, but on other special event days especially, I've seen a lot of really, really cool costumes. Now, of course, everybody knows typically for the Disney parks, adults are not necessarily allowed to wear strict costumes for Disney park. Of course, kind of breaks some of the immersion and magic for the younger kids and the actual performers that are here in the Disney parks. However, they bend those rules a little bit for special occasions and special events like today, like May the 4th for Star Wars Day. And so I've seen tons of really, really cool Jedi costumes. I've seen a lot of lightsabers, people just carrying around lightsabers that are not in costume, like myself. I've seen a lot of Mandalorian suits. I've seen a lot of quite a few stormtrooper type outfits with the helmets and whatnot. Now, of course, walking around, you can't have anything covering your head, basically, as a safety concern in a huge crowd of people. But of course, they do allow helmets, masks, all of that for the photo op opportunities. And if you're taking your own photos as well, of course, that works just fine. But one thing I've often noticed, especially down here in Florida, those costumes do tend to get quite, I'll just say it, it's hot to wear all that fabric and all of that faux armor, for everything that we put all of our effort and energy into for cosplay. The cosplay community, of course, has grown vastly over the years to where even lowly bottom tier fans, I suppose, put together their own outfits or character inspired outfits that are not necessarily costumes per se, but are inspired by characters for the Star Wars franchise. And of course, not just the Star Wars franchise, but any fantasy genre, any fantasy franchise, cosplay has become quite the entry into the fandom. And of course, Star Wars is no exception to that. So it's been really, really cool to see the dedication that folks have put into their costumes, Matter of fact, I ran into a few of my buddies from the lightsaber meet and greet that have put together their own costumes and they put together the lightsabers. Such a cool experience just to come and see everybody in their costumes. Cosplay has been quite a entryway into the fandom. You know, for adults and who are children at heart, like myself, who like to, I'll be blunt, play dress up, even as adults. But the amount of dedication and work that goes into that to help spread joy of the Star Wars fandom and everything else has been really, really cool. So I've seen a lot of that today, even in this sweltering Florida heat. I would have
Been a
done
lot going on.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
A lot going on. Okay, we said we're going to do some trivia questions with you, David. Let's see how good you
Trivia.
are.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's.
So I'm going to take one. Now, of course, these to me are very easy. Of course, I'm reading them, and as I read them, I know the answers. But if I was being read the question and had to think about it, it may not be so easy. But I'm going to take an easy question because the answer is easy, and I'm going to flip the question around. How much was Earl Jones paid to voice Darth Vader in the first movie?
Oh my God, you're going way deep with this first one.
Yeah,
Wow. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know.
take a
I don't know
guess.
how much.
Take a guess.
Okay. In thinking of 1977 money, not our highly inflated economy of today, I'd say $1,000. Let's get a nice blank $1,000.
A little higher.
Higher. Okay. Let's say 1,500.
Lower.
Lower. Okay. 12.
Lower.
Lower than that. More than 1,000. Lower than 1,200. Okay. 1,000. 1,100 then, I guess.
We'll go lower.
Lower than that. Okay.
This is your last.
My last guess. Okay. $1,000. $1,050.
$7,000.
$7,000.
$7,000. He was paid $7,000 to voice Darth Vader in the very first Star Wars movie. You got to think,
$7,000.
he was an afterthought. They had
700 or 7,000?
$7,000.
30.
30.
7,000.
$7,000.
He's over here saying.
Okay, so that's more than I thought, but okay.
So yeah, $7,000. So
Of course,
we're going to send you on a mission.
mission.
Are you ready to go? You ready to go on your mission?
Okay, let's see what we can do.
Go see what kind of snack you can find to share with everybody.
A snack or a meal or is I ham?
Well, how hungry are you?
I'm
How
very
hungry
hungry
are you?
actually. I haven't eaten a whole lot today. I'll be honest.
Well, go get you something, and when you're ready to come back in, we'll pull you back in.
Okay, and go off camera for this because this might take a little while.
Okay. We'll take you off stage. Just don't shut off your phone. Just keep on walking. So, I think he said something about going to Docking Bay 7 to find something to eat. And so he's going to go find something to eat. We talked about a while ago, 2026. Why don't you take down that banner, Nathan? So it's not blocking my face. There we go. This is our first stream using the software, and we're trying to get used to what I'm trying to direct, and Nathan's the TD, the technical director. And so I'm telling him to take one, take two, do this, and we're all doing this live. So anything, and we're learning how to use the software live. 2026 ticket prices, hotel prices, and meal tickets are supposed to go down. For the summer, they are talking about, I've heard mentioned that kids can eat free on the dining plan for the summer. So if you're planning to go and get a dining plan, make sure whether you're going through a travel agent or the My Disney Experience app, which you can download from the Play Store or from iPhone Store and get that app. You can do that, and kids can eat free. Kids, and I forgot what the age is. I think it's up to 11 years of age.
I believe they consider a kid. I believe they consider a kid to be
11 or maybe 12. I think 12 is like
Yeah.
the top for what they consider to be a child.
So, of course, when y'all were 12, you ate like you were 14.
When we were 12, and we still, the both of us eat rather heartily, even to this day. But not everyone is built like us, and everybody's got different nutritional needs and nutritional wants for that matter. But even so, Disney doing something for free at all is a welcome invitation.
Well, right now, especially, it's all the price of the, the last time we went was David's senior year, and I think we paid $135 per day per person. I think that was for Magic Kingdom.
And that might have been because that would have been before all. Well, no, it would have been right after all of the changes implemented by COVID.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very likely that ticket strategy was implemented then, where like Magic Key was most expensive, and then the others were beneath it.
Because I know we went for Nathan's senior year, which was 4 years before that, and it was $100 a person. It was a flat $100.
Quite the difference.
So, in the last 12 years, believe it or not, we've been that far from COVID.
12, maybe 5.
Well, I'm talking about from the time you graduated in
Oh, in 2018.
2018.
That's been 7 years ago now.
Yeah, the price difference so much. Well, it was $100 back when we first took you to Disney World, you and your cousins. It was
Yeah,
$100.
the very, very first trip.
So, and it was $100 then per person. So it stayed $100 for a very long time.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, you saw the things I was putting up that were almost upwards of $150 to $200 per day for a single ticket for the single park, per person, mind you. Depending on what time of year you're going and what park you're planning to visit. I mean, it's crazy how far up it's gone.
Yeah. So, and the other thing that you have to consider is if you go and you want to get the Genie, or it's not Genie anymore, it's Lightning Lane.
Yeah, they got rid of that.
But you start adding the Lightning Lane plans, you buy a ticket for $135, you can spend almost another $135 to get that Lightning Lane plan to get ahead of the line and try to get through the rides that you want to do the most quicker. So, I mean, for a single person for a park can almost cost you $500 a day. That's getting in the park, what you would spend on the Lightning Lane app, your food. You're looking at $500 for per person per day.
Yeah.
So, and that brings me to the other big thing we were going to talk about tonight. That's just always when we're looking at these things, Resort TV One or other bloggers, and we see all these parents pushing strollers with kids that are 1 to 3 to 4 years of age, and you were 4.5, almost 5 the first time you went. What do you remember, Nathan?
When let's see, as young as I was that very, very first trip, the only things that really stand out to me at all was the Tiki Room, because back then the Tiki Room was doing that thing where they had Iago and Zazu as part of the show. They had that under new management Tiki Room show, and that was just standing out because I liked both of those movies quite well. So I remember that. I remembered, of course, passing the signs and going under the signs, because you surprised us with the trip and like completely. We had zero clue where we were going, what we were doing. we just thought we were going on a little trip away from where we were at the beach at the time. And so I remember the excitement in the car as me and all of the cousins were seeing that. And then I remember the very first coaster we went on, which I recommend to anybody who's wanting to break their kids in on roller coasters, the Barnstormer. It's goofy themed. It's super short. It's not too intense, but it's just intense enough for any youngins who want to dip their toes in the water. Not too high of a height requirement. It's the perfect way to get started on that. And then after that, I just remember the Magic Carpet ride because that was still a fairly new addition at the time. It was nothing like the WD-40 commercial that it is today. And then the fireworks. The fireworks at the end of the night, and that is the extent of the entire day to my 7-year-old brain.
Now, here's the good thing about that trip. Because we went to a condo sale thing the day before, we got 2 free tickets, and you were under 6, so you got in for free. So we only had to pay for me and Mom. We didn't pay for anybody. We as far as the 3 of us, David was just 6 months old. He got in for free. He doesn't remember anything
from that trip, at least.
From that trip.
Yeah, no, he was strolling around and just happy to not be walking.
And then we went when you were 12 and David was 8.
Mm-hmm.
And before we left, their mom said, "We're going to be long days in the park. You can be walking where. Do not whine and cry about it." And they didn't.
Nope, we were instructed very well that this was not going to be accepted if you whine and cry. Otherwise, it would not be good time.
But if you've got kids that are under age of 6, I wouldn't even take them, because we went through all the money that you spend today. Back when we took you and your cousins, it was 5 of us. We bought y'all supper at one of the quick service.
I believe we went to the Pinocchio house, actually. Yeah.
No, not with Pinocchio house. It was the Pecos Bill.
Still very
And it was
expensive.
$75 to get everybody hamburger, fries, and a Coke.
In 2007.
2007. 2007. And I'm just saying, if you're going to put this kind of money out, make sure your kids are going to enjoy going to the parks. That that you're not in, especially if you're going in. Well, David, we'll bring you in for a second. What's the temperature today down there?
Today, actually, hey folks, it was much cooler than normal. It was about 72 degrees today, or at least when I first started out coming in to Epcot, because it had rained earlier tonight, or last night into this morning. So it had a big rain shower that came through. So it was about 16 degrees cooler than a normal day of this time down here in Florida. So it wasn't so bad.
What's been the highest temp you've had?
Highest temp today, I'd say, got up to about 85 in the sun
Today.
Now, that's today. Now, of course, it's only May. It's going to get a lot worse down here.
So, and that's one, and we've been talking about on the day you was here what we're saying. So if you've got small kids,
I would
you
say
got the money you spend. It's crazy today.
right. It's and here's my perspective as a current cast member. Of course, I'm not in this park working, but in another Disney park. The amount of money we spend, especially if your children are of a smaller persuasion, just be careful, honestly. And I will say this, and I said this in my video earlier: hydrate. I see maybe 1, 2 guests, not let alone cast members, but guests a day who just can't take the heat or haven't properly prepared for the heat, and we end up having to call folks over, get them the medication. So hydrate. And just be smart. If you're going to be a park goer, be very smart about it.
Yeah. So, and I don't want to down going to the park.
It's so
I
much
mean,
fun.
the first time I went was in '76. Went a few years later, 2 summers back to back. We took y'all and Nathan was almost 5, and then again y'all were 12 and 8, and then each y'all went there for your senior trips. So I love the parks. I love the parks. But if you have small kids and you're looking at spending all that money, make sure that your kids can enjoy it. And yeah, David, make sure you drink, hydrate. There's free money, free water anywhere you want it. You can get free water. Don't pay the $6 for the ball stuff. Okay, we're going to take a short break. So, David, are you going to get something to eat?
I placed a mobile order, but there's currently a waiting window for that. It's going to be about maybe 30 more minutes before my arrival window is ready. Or
Okay.
it could be earlier, but I don't know. I'm over here at Docking Bay 7, and I've ordered some food and a drink here, so I will keep y'all updated as to when I can get my stuff. But it may be a little while because everybody's here and everybody's hungry. So there's a specific arrival window that I have to show up for in order to get my food. So I'll keep y'all posted.
Okay. We're going to take about a 30-second break and go to standby, and then we'll come back in.
Roger that.
Okay.
Colors splash across the sky, flying high so free. Dreams are soaring overhead as far as eyes can see. Whispers bridge the silent gap between a wish and star. Every step a melody, no matter where you are. Castles rise from fantasy where clouds begin to play. Laughter dances on the breeze to brighten up the day. Gentle winds that carry tales of heroes brave and strong. Every heart finds harmony within this endless song. Magic in the air tonight, dancing in the glow. Worlds collide and hearts unite, stories we all know. Every smile, a spark of light, a tale we'll always share. Magic in the air tonight, it's everywhere. Golden rivers glide through time where dreams and legends meet. Shadows fade with every turn as light restores the beat. Wishes bloom like fireflies beneath the moonlit face. Every moment woven tight inside this boundless space. Beyond the veil of what we see, there's more than meets the eye. Close your doubts and open up where wonder cannot lie. Hand in hand we'll lead to find the world where we belong. Every voice becomes a thread within this living song. Magic in the air tonight, dancing in the glow. Worlds collide and hearts unite, the stories we all know. Every smile, a spark of light, a tale we'll always share. Magic in the air tonight, it's everywhere. Magic in the air tonight, dancing in the glow. Worlds collide and hearts unite with stories we all know. Every smile, a spark of light, a tale we'll all.
Okay. Yeah, we're back. I was need to get something to drink and do some other things. David, there you
Yes,
are.
sir. I'm here.
You said you saw Jar Jar earlier.
No, well, not Jar Jar specifically. I saw a gentleman who had a Jar Jar head on top of his head. So I saw like the Gungan head kind of above the crowd. Kind of
I'm
funny.
walking through the crowd.
Walking through the crowd.
I was
pretty funny.
watching some documentary this past week, and they were talking about the making of all the prequel movies and how people my age, when the prequels come out, most adults that were, say, middle school, high schooler, 1977 through 82, when the original movies came out, uh, 85, I think, was, 85 was when Return of the Jedi. But my age group hate or still hates Jar Jar. They hate him. But kids that were your age when those movies came out, when y'all were that age, y'all love Jar Jar.
Well, we have a love in our hearts for him because, and as George Lucas said, Star Wars ultimately is for children. Yeah. It is children's mythology brought to the modern day for what looks like our future. You know, the futuristic technology, flying spaceships, repulsor lifting your cargo, and laser swords. You know, it is ultimately for kids, and that is the character of Jar Jar to a T. He's a bumbling flap, essentially. He fulfills that archetype. And so, to the older audience who grew up on the originals, you know, there's plenty of comic relief in C-3PO and R2-D2. You know, George Lucas just brought forth a different type of comic relief through that character of who, of course, to our society, he's funny, he talks funny, but even amongst his own Gungan society, because he's an ninja. So, with that, you know, you have to look at the context of the character itself and look at your audience. You know, a huge portion of the show business is to know your audience. You know, Star Wars is supposed to be. You have a silly character or two in there, and so that's my take on it. And so I don't have any fault. You know, as I've grown up with him, you know, I'm okay.
Now, you have not seen Luke Skywalker there today.
No, I have not. So the walking Roman character of Luke Skywalker, to my knowledge, has only been out in Disneyland, Galaxy's Edge, California. I don't believe he's been brought here yet to Orlando. But I have, not today necessarily, but I've seen the Mandalorian walking about, little Grogu in a little couch. And I've seen, of course, Kylo Ren and stormtroopers and everything. And I've actually just a few minutes ago, just a few feet away from me, I saw Rey with her stick walking through with a group of kids. So those characters are still out and about around for the normal everyday. So now, whether or not there's going to be a specialty character tonight specifically for May the 4th, I don't know. It'd be pretty cool to, you know, maybe see what happens.
Okay, another deep dive trivia question.
Trivia deep dive. Okay.
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 Han Solo did the castle run, and how many parsecs?
He was able to complete the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
Okay. That's a little bit easier. I'm taking some of these questions the way they've got them are very elementary, and I'm flipping them around trying to get them a little bit more challenging for you. But that wasn't too bad. All right. I'm gonna see if I can find one other quick. All right. This is not necessarily a trivia question, but what color it is? But you're going to give me the correct answer. What color is Miss Windu's lightsaber.
Mace Windu? Okay. I can not only give you the color of his lightsaber, but I can also tell you the why behind the what.
Okay.
So Mace Windu, of course, played by Samuel L. Jackson, had a special lightsaber color just because he wanted it. You know, he wanted a special lightsaber color all his own, and that is purple. Now, according to the lore and everything, the reason behind his purple lightsaber is, as a Jedi, of course, he's rooted in the light side of the Force, but his fighting style exhibits both light side and dark side ability. So his fighting style is very aggressive. It's named after a ferocious dark side creature, the Lopan. So it channels his inner darkness, but uses it through the light side of the Force. Thus, the combination of red and blue gives you purple. And it's more the blue side of purple than the red side of purple, because he's always grounded in the light side of the Force.
Okay. And when you first saw it, what color do you think it was?
I thought it was blue just because I'm colorblind.
Well, you're the only one, so is your brother. So, anyway, all right. How have you getting a word about your mobile order? How quick it's going to
Not
be ready?
yet. Not quite yet, no. But I will say, trying to balance out. I've got the Disney Parks app running in the background of my phone. It's eating up a lot of my battery, I will say. So if I unexpectedly dip out, just know that my camera phone is about to die.
Okay. So hopefully it won't. Hopefully it
We'll
won't
see
dip
about
out, and you can stay in here. We've only got about another 10 minutes scheduled. So I don't know if we'll get to your food or not. So you may have to do your own video blog on that and share that later.
Oh, I will. Not to worry. That'll
So
come out later on the channel as my full vlog of the day here in Galaxy's Edge. I've put together, showcase of rides and everything. That'll come later on, probably later on into tomorrow once I get all put together. So it'll be
Okay.
all right.
all right. Well, Nathan, I'm gonna come back to you, and David, don't leave us, but stand by, okay?
I'll be back.
All right, I'm here, boss.
Okay. You said you had something else to add to our earlier conversation.
Yes, let me pull everything up that I had here. So I earlier in the stream talked about little price hikes that might be coming for the Disney parks as far as
Take two.
all right. How about that?
There we go.
That's
And a little bit of TD here.
I can do that there. But we talked about the prices of the park. So here quickly, I wanted to see about going over park prices, not of the parks, but if you happen to be visiting a resort. These are in no particular order. In fact, if you really want to be granular, it's probably going to be just alphabetical order. But I'll explain a little bit more in detail what all these refer to as we go along here. So let me see what I can do to pull this up really quickly. There we go. Let's see, why will it not? There we go. All right, so looking at the very, very first one here, we have Disney's Art of Animation Resort. I'm going to move the card here really quickly. Disney's Art of Animation Resort is a value resort, probably the most sought after value resort on property. The ranges for 30 days out, again, that's going to be the beginning of June, that first week of June. It's going to be lower, around $300 a night or so. The biggest thing with them is they have not only just standard rooms, they also have family-size suites that you can join in. At 90 days out, it's going to be a little bit bigger of a range. It will go all the way up to $258, all the way to $596 per night. And that is, again, encompassing the huge range when it comes to those family suites. That can hold a little bit more people in those, so it's not just like a regular hotel room. 180 days out, 6 months out, if you're planning a trip for the first week of February, it's going to be roughly about the same. In fact, just a little bit cheaper. Again, it is the first of the year. $254 for those lower end rooms, $586 a night for those suites. Looking forward, we also got another value resort, the All-Star Movies Resort. Very, very popular one to go to if you're just looking for, like, I'm on property, I'm here. And that's evidenced by the prices also. And I also want to mention the price ranges that I'm giving here are based off of the metric that you're going as a family of 4 with 2 adults and 2 children. If you make your own plans and you have a different configuration, it might change. This is also not going to show everything because at some points, for some party sizes and for some dates, not everything is always available, usually because it's either booked up already or they just may not have that kind of accommodations available for what you're asking for. But looking at this, when I did the research for today, if you plan a trip out for a month from now, you'll go about $185 on the lower end of those rooms, all the way up to about $214 90 days out. Looking at the first week of August, it's actually a little bit cheaper. Again, in August, prices come down a little bit because of the heat. So the way that they entice you in is to lower the prices. So you can get a cheaper room, $164 a night, all the way up to almost $200. Unfortunately, when I was researching this, there was no data available for 6 months out, likely due to it either already being booked or the type room was just not available for family of 4. All-Star Music Resort is a sister resort to All-Star Movies. It's right next door. Focuses on Disney's musical sides. Very similar pricings as a result. About $185 to $214 if you plan to go in the next 30 days. $164 to $205 a night if you plan to go at the beginning of August. So a little bit cheaper than the movie side because of the music. Still no data, unfortunately, for 6 months out in February. All-Star Sports, this is going to be the cheapest of the cheapest for the All-Star resorts. In fact, it's represented in the prices there. The lower end prices tend to be about $185, $164 looking 3 months out. Again, still no data for 6 months out for the 3 resorts I've just mentioned. Moving on to Caribbean Beach Resort, this is a moderate resort. It's also along the Skyliner path, so a lot more value is gained with this type of a resort stay. Unfortunately, not a lot of data is available for this resort because it's a very, very highly sought after moderate resort because it's a really, really good bang for your buck. So the only data I have is if you want to plan a trip for the next 3 months in the beginning of August. Lower ended rooms going to be $288. They can get as high as $425 a night. They could possibly go even higher than that. It's just that it's not available for the week that we're representing here. Moving forward, Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge. This is the deluxe resort. This is one of those top level resorts that you can go to. And as far as deluxe resorts go, this is actually one of the cheaper ones you can attend. However, because of it being a type of lodge and not necessarily a resort, they've got a huge array of different types of accommodations and stays. You can do everything from just standard hotel rooms to 1-bedroom suites or 2-bedroom villas, all manner of different types of accommodations for when you come. So the price range is going to be a lot bigger. But on the lower end of things, if you plan to go in the next 30 days, you could likely look at about $513 for just a plain old hotel room. You can get upwards of over $2,200 a night for a family of 4 stay per night on those higher end suites and villas and such. 90 days out at the beginning of August, those prices come down just a little bit from $465 all the way up to $2,213. Again, it possibly could be even more. It just depends on what Disney has available and what is able to be used for the accommodations you're looking for your party type. 6 months out, beginning of February, you got $500 all the way up to $2,400 just to kind of rough it out a little bit per night. But again, that's a deluxe resort in the Animal Kingdom Lodge. It's beautiful resort. You get to actually have the animals in your backyard. It's a wonderful time there. Disney's Beach Club, another deluxe resort. Lot more value going here. You can even see in the picture you've got Spaceship Earth in the background. A lot of really good value here. 30 days out, you've got $658, almost $3,000 a night if you plan to go in the next 30 days. At the beginning of August, this price has actually come down a little bit to just under $600, all the way up to just over $2,200. So you could probably go even further than that, depending on the size of your party. But as far as what is available for a party of 4, again, 2 adults and 2 children, this is what is available at this present time. In 6 months out, you got all the way from $687 on the cheaper end to $1,232 a night for those more expensive villas and suites. the Boardwalk Inn, very, very popular resort, particularly because of Disney's Boardwalk being right there. Much of the same price points as the beach club resort. It's pretty much right next to it. In terms of that, you can actually see a little bit of Epcot off in the distance, in the background there. So you got really, really good close proximity to one of the theme parks. Looking there, anywhere from about $650 to $2,100 a night for here in the next 30 days. If you're looking at the beginning of August, anywhere from about $600 to almost $900 a night on the upper end. Again, it probably goes a little bit higher. It just depends on what Disney has available at this present moment. At 180 days out, you can go on the cheaper end for just a standard room being just over $700 all the way up to over $1,100, almost $1,200 a night just for a family of 4 per night. Disney's Contemporary Resort, the OG, the one that opened right along Magic Kingdom at the beginning of Disney World back in the early 70s. Very, very, very highly sought after deluxe resort. Runs anywhere from, you can see if you plan to go in the next 30 days, it'll be $600 a night on the cheaper end, and the villas and the suites can get upwards of over $3,100 per night for a family of 4. At the beginning of August, when things get a little bit cheaper, they don't really seem to drop that much for Contemporary. You're going to drop just down to just about $580 a night, all the way up to just under $3,000 per night on the upper end if you're getting those 1 and 2 bedroom suites and villas. And 6 months out from now, it actually goes a little bit higher, over $650 on the low end at the beginning of February, all the way up to $3,200 a night on the high end there. Coronado Springs, this is a moderate resort. It's actually a very beautiful Spanish-themed resort. It's got very, very beautiful sceneries and views. A little bit cheaper than Caribbean Beach, the moderate resort we mentioned earlier. In fact, on the lower end, you can get a standard room for upwards of $280 a night. However, they also have villas and suites and stuff that range upwards to $1,500, almost $1,600 range on the high end. Don't have any data, unfortunately, for the parameters I set for the beginning of August, but if you plan 6 months from now to go at the beginning of February, looking about the same, almost a little bit cheaper for looking at it perfectly, about the same starting price on the cheaper end. You actually come down just a little bit on what's available for the higher end suites and stuff, $1,400, a little bit more than $1,400 per night. Disney's Grand Floridian, often viewed as the Mary Poppins resort. This is Disney's flagship resort. This is the one that is likely going to be the cream of the crop as offerings go. It's right next door to Magic Kingdom, and the cheaper rooms, if you're going to plan a trip out in the next 30 days, going to be just over $800 per night for a family of 4, going upwards of $1,300, almost $1,400 a night. And again, that probably can go even further depending on what your actual offerings are for your party. 90 days out goes from $761 to $2,060 a night, and I'm sure some more of those offerings are available as well for that price point. And then $844 to $1,969 per night on the upper end as you look upwards into February. Right across the way, Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, a little bit cheaper than the Grand Floridian, but still highly sought after and a lot of great value, since you can see the Magic Kingdom from many of the hotel rooms there, and many of these price points are actually indicative of that. Standard rooms that aren't really going to be pointed at nothing are going to be upwards upwards of $700, almost $750, go all the way up to just over $1,300 if you plan to go in the next month. 90 days out for the week of August 4th, it goes anywhere from $700 to $1,266 a night. At 180 days out, 6 months out at the beginning of February, can be $805 on the cheaper side, all the way up to $3,400 if you want to get a villa or a bungalow or one of those other higher offerings, including a club level access room that sees the theme park. Disney's Wilderness Lodge, another of Disney's deluxe resorts. Beautiful, beautiful landscapes, but also emphasizes the great outdoors. It's a little bit cheaper than the two that we just mentioned, even though it is a deluxe resort. And their price ranges are kind of saying the same, honestly and truly. For the month of June, the first week of June, you can see $563 is on the low end for those cheaper hotel rooms, and they can get upwards as far as what's currently being offered right now to $814 a night going all the way out into August, you can go $513 to $1,237 per night. More openings, more things coming open in that time frame. And then 6 months out, you can get almost $600, all the way up to $1,600 plus, just for a single night for a family of 4 there. Almost through with all the resorts here. We're not going to go into any villas or anything this time, but at the Yacht Club Resort, very, very closely priced to the beach resort. They're both moderate resorts, and they're priced very similarly. In fact, you can look and see that it's very similar to the beach resort, sitting around about $650 to almost $1,000 a night on the cheaper side when you're going in June. Getting a little bit cheaper when you go in August at the very beginning, $700, almost $1,000 there, just a few dollars difference. And then all the way out in February, you can see we have more availability for more types of higher end rooms there, so the range is a lot bigger. You can pay upwards of almost $2,500 for a family of 4 per night. Port Orleans French Quarter Resort. This is one of 2 resorts that are very, very close together for each other. Don't have a lot of available data for this, unfortunately. If you're looking to plan in August, it's actually got very, very, very close, price points for what's available right now, because this is a highly sought after resort. It's incredibly relaxing. And then we have Disney's Pop Century Resort. This is another value resort. This is going to be on the lower end of stuff. It is a Skyliner resort, so it has a little bit of value, pushing it up a little bit there. On the low end of stuff, if you plan to go in the beginning of June, you get upwards of $230 to $261 per night for a family of 4. Looking 90 days out to the beginning of August, that's going to be $213 for the cheaper rooms. So it's coming down just a little bit, all the way down to $247 for the more preferred rooms. Those are going to be the ones closer to the Skyliner, so that you can actually use the Skyliner as a mode of transportation a little easier. And then looking out at the beginning of February is going to be much of the same price, $214 to $261 on those upper sought after rooms. So that is what I have to show for you guys there. Whenever you're planning a Disney World trip, all of these factors play a huge part in what you are able to afford, number one, but also what you're able to get a hold of. Some places have alternative transportation methods than just a bus. Some things are closer to some certain parks that you may want to visit quicker than others. Everything is got a value point to it. But that value, of course, always comes down to a dollar sign.
Okay. Thanks, Nathan. I know that's a lot of information. And we have stayed Pop Century. You and Natalie stayed at All Stars or Animation?
We stayed at Art of Animation.
Animation.
And I would recommend it. Absolutely. The value.
And one thing you mentioned is some of these more expensive resorts, if you can get a suite, the suite sleeps up to 8 people,
Mhm.
and you have 3 families. Now that's price per night. You can actually break that price down.
Oh yeah, if you're going with a group that can split the cost of the night,
Yeah.
it makes it much more affordable, as long
So-
as you're being really close to each other.
Yeah, really close family, really close friends. I've got a couple of other key interest things I want to bring up, and then we're going to go back to David there on Batu. But this past summer, this past year, they had Walt Disney 3D thing that was going around. They had a Walt Disney memory history thing that was going around the world, and I think it came to the Atlanta area, but I never heard when it came. I'd love to be able to go and seen it, but they took all the stuff of AI and created a 3D image of Walt Disney, introduced you to this traveling museum. And I just heard yesterday that they have been working on a new animatronic of Walt Disney.
I heard a little bit of something like that, and it sparked a little bit of backlash from some faithful members of Disney's fan base, actually. While I myself am not very educated on the matter, I'm afraid. I think the idea is a little novel. only because Walt was the father of all those things, and here he is almost kind of reincarnated, or at least someone's version of Walt is reincarnated into one of his grandchildren, as it were.
I think that person would be neat to, and I'm not sure if they're going to be bringing it both parks or just for Disneyland, since that's the first park he opened. But they're working. They have an outside company now that does a lot of the animatronic stuff. It's not done in house like it was back in the beginning. There are several companies in California that do this for Disney now, and with the new technology, motors, smaller motors, they get more fluid with the movement of the animatronics, more natural looking, and so it's not. I don't think it's ready to come out. I heard something maybe July of this year, maybe it'd be ready, but I got a feeling they'll probably push it out to August or September.
And it's entirely likely that that's going to be the case because at this point, you kind of want to be ready when it's time to come out, and you don't want anything going wrong with that.
They don't want that what happened to Lincoln.
No. They were lucky that that didn't completely catch fire.
So, all right, David, we're coming back to you. What's your
Hey, what's up?
hey?
Say again.
Have you anything about your food?
No, it's probably going to be a little while because they are.
Okay.
I took a peek inside. They're absolutely slammed right now. I will be doing a showcase once it is ready for my vlog video here in Galaxy's Edge. So stay tuned for that and everything that I showcased here in my vlog for Galaxy's Edge. But
Okay.
overall, just the whole, yeah, it's packed up in there. So it's going to be a while.
So, hard to get that blog out
Probably
Thursday.
tomorrow.
Well, you got to get that to the editor.
That's what I mean. Yeah, tomorrow I'll get the footage out and we'll see what happens after that.
So I'm thinking maybe Thursday, maybe be today's Friday, maybe it'll be a couple of shorts will get out between now and then, a couple of little kind of teasers. You kind of get the teaser that Nathan can get a couple of those done and get them out there, but probably closer to the weekend, that full video or videos, depending how much you've got and what he does with it. We'll get those out later in the week. I've got one more kind of deep dive trivia for you.
Okay, what is that?
Okay. In New Hope, what character was first played by a human, but was later changed to be a creature?
Ooh. Well, it depends on which version of A New Hope you're looking at. But of course, that character is the Jabba the Hutt. Originally, when it was first shot in 1977, he was a rather round, portly Italian mobster type character. But and that's of course in the deleted scenes that were published with the special editions. But then with the special editions that came out in 2004, and I think also in the special edition run previous to that he was CGI'd over with the giant Jabba the Hutt that we all know and love, the big slug creature. So that is the character who made that switch.
Okay. Not too hard, but you got to think, didn't I? Got to think.
Yeah, in the original
All right.
cut of the movie, he's not even there. Like they just cut that whole scene out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we are about 10 minutes almost over our time we said we are going to do for tonight for our first live stream. And again, if you've joined us while we're doing live stream, we thank you for joining us and being a part of this first live stream. We've learned some things with this, and we're going to work on improving some stuff, overall quality and everything. I think it went very good, though, for the first time doing this. Very well. Well, I have one other thought I was going to bring up before we start to say goodbye, everybody. Other than, I guess, again, if you're watching this later, hit the bell, hit the bell, will pop up and give you a choice, a drop down list of choices. Hit the top one, and that gets you subscribed, alerted to all videos when they're posted. Hit the like button also. We miss saying that. Again, if you were to search us right now, mute David. we mute David there. He has some noise in the background, people talking. In order for us to get into the algorithm for YouTube, we need 100 subscribers. We need a lot of likes on the videos. So whether it's a short video or a live stream or another video that David does gets put up, hit the like button, and so those numbers go up. Subscribe, share. Oh, the boys know how I'm about when it comes to sharing. Please share, because we have 13 subscribers, maybe 14 by the end of the day. But share the videos and encourage people to, if they like them, to like them and subscribe. We need 100. Our goal right now is 100. 100 people subscribe to the channel so that we can then be, if you were to search us, you'd see the channel. Right now, if you do a search, you're not going to see us. So, David, back to you for any closing remarks.
So,
There we go. There we go.
not much more to say here, other than keep an eye and ear out on the channel for my official May the 4th vlog that I'll be finishing up here at the end of the day. And like we said, please do like, comment as well. Be positive and uplifting in the comments, but if you put comments under the video, that also helps the algorithm out and getting our content out there for the masses. But, if you're going to comment, be lighthearted about it. Obviously, we will be doing more streams, not just about Star Wars in particular, but about the Disney parks, particularly down here in Florida, while I'm down here on my program. So keep an eye and an ear out for that, and we'll have more adventures to come on the horizon.
Okay. And here comes your little buddy into the room to say hi. Nathan has nothing more for tonight, so we're going to sign off. Again, thanks for joining. Like, share, hit the bell, get notified, subscribe, tell us about your friends that like Disney stuff as a whole. I don't know when we'll do the next live stream. Probably we'll be doing one a month is our goal right now. If we get 2 in, we might be able to get 2 in, but one a month. David's gonna try to get at least 1 video up per week and maybe a couple of shorts. When he's not working, he's in the parks having fun. So anyway, good night, and we will see you at another time.
Magic in the air tonight, dancing in the glow. Worlds collide and hearts unite, stories we all know. Every smile, a spark of light, a tale we'll always share. Magic in the air tonight, celebrate stories we all know. Every smile, a spark of light, a tale we'll always share. Magic in the